Welcome back to another episode of the Katrina Johnson Show. So happy to have you with me today. Remember to subscribe, share the podcast, leave comments. I would love to hear from you guys. Also, you can follow me online at katrinajohnson.online or on Instagram at I am Katrina Johnson. I thank you again for joining me, and let's get into the show. I want to take a moment to speak with you about BetterHelp, a sponsor of the Katrina Johnson Show. You know I'm big on inspiring people to live their best lives, but sometimes we need a little more than words of inspiration. When mental health interferes with your daily routine and lifestyle, you need someone to confide in that can help you with sorting through your emotions. That's exactly what BetterHelp is all about. It's professional therapy done securely online and is available to clients worldwide. With BetterHelp, you can get your needs assessed and be matched with your own licensed professional therapist. You can log into your account anytime and send a message to your therapist. You'll get timely and thoughtful responses. Plus, you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions so you won't have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room as with traditional therapy. It's more affordable than traditional offline therapy, and financial aid is available. Remember, living your best life begins with taking care of your mental health. BetterHelp, a sponsor of the Katrina Johnson Show, wants you to start living a happier life today. Visit betterhelp.com/KJ Show. That's BetterHelp, HELP, and join the over 500,000 people taking charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. And here is a special offer for the Katrina Johnson Show listeners. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/KJ Show. I recently came across a video that touched my heart, and I wanted to share a clip of the audio with you, my audience. Now, some of you may have already seen it. For those who will witness this audio of the video for the first time, may it bless you like it did me. It's about a man by the name of Richard Hutchins, who did not allow a rough childhood, prison, or homelessness destroy his dream and passion as an artist. Instead, he desires to make people happy with his art every single day. Stories like this is what touches my heart because of the impact that they can have on other people's lives. The reason why I started this podcast was to inspire people to not give up on themselves. Richard is a good example of what could happen when you hold on to your passion and you don't give up on your dreams. Stories of how people overcame situations that could have destroyed them is priceless and holds so much value in the way that it blesses others. I hope you will enjoy this clip of Richard Hutchins' interview with Steve Harvey.
Just start, first of all, you're an artist. Where did this love of art come from?
From a child. I started drawing when I was a kid. I was 6 years old working in the cotton fields. I would come home from school in Americus, Georgia, and during the break, I would take brown paper bags and I would take the twigs from the fire and I would use that as my pencil. My teachers encouraged me, you should continue to do what you're doing, and I did.
Wow. So now, as a teenager, you got in some trouble, which led to some prison time.
Yes, sir.
And it also led to you being homeless. Tell me a little bit about it.
The first time I ran away from home, I was 9 years old. I left Americus to Atlanta, and I was brought back. And then I was 13 when I ran away again. But during the times I was running away, I would take the time, I would draw. I would sit in restaurants like McDonald's and places like that, and I would draw. And I continued to do that. And I had a troubled childhood, and I spent my time just drawing. That's all I did was drawing and reading. That's what I did. That was my love, you know. And as I grew into art, and art grew into me.
So tell me this though, Richard. You were running away. Why?
I wasn't happy with my environments. I was getting a lot of beatings, and you know, I just wasn't happy.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes happiness is hard to find.
Yeah.
And I just searched and searched and searched and searched and searched, but I never gave up my dreams. And my spirit was never broken. Even as a child, my spirit wasn't broken.
So you get into some trouble, and you got to do some prison time.
Yes, sir.
How much you have to do?
Altogether, I did 6 months here, 6 months there, 5 years here, 3 years there. Total of my life, I'm 62 years old now. I spent the last 25 years in and out of trouble, prison, and things like that. And I continued to paint and draw while I was in prison. And people in prison saw something I didn't see in my art, because I would give most of it away. There's so much stuff I've given away in my life.
It's Kobe and LeBron.
This gentleman was the first one, after this thing went viral, to buy a piece of my work. He bought his own picture, which was done in Skittles, M&M, toothpaste, coffee, Kool-Aid.
Wow.
Yes,
the
sir.
picture you painted of me, where were you when you painted the
I was in
picture?
prison, Steve.
See, that's what I heard, and that's what got me. So, you know, if a dude, that's the painting.
Yes, sir.
You know, I said, this dude in prison with some Skittles and some coffee, and he picked me to paint. So take me back to last Easter when something changed your life. What was that?
Well, this is two amazing individuals, and so happened they both was from Atlanta, which is where I'm from. This is my home. So I'm sitting in front of a store in Los Angeles on a grocery cart. A lot of people came into that lot that was unhappy, that was smiling, that wasn't smiling. And I would holler at them, hey, why you not smiling? And we got to talking, so here come this blue Jeep coming into the lot, standing out. I said, hey, let me drive that truck, nephew. And they laughed at me and looked at me, and they got out and said, we'll be right back. This was Charlie Rocket and Langford. And they came back, and they put some money in my hand, and we got to talking. And this was Easter Sunday. Show you how God works. That's the reason I'm here right now. They changed my life.
Yeah, see, y'all don't know, but this guy that I'm about to introduce you to, he does something incredible all around the country. Joining us now is Charlie Rocket, who gave Richard the second chance that he needed.
Charlie.
He's on the Zoom right now.
What's up, Uncle Steve?
What's up with you, man? How you doing?
Man, I'm on a winning streak, man.
This dude right here is one of the most upbeat. What he's done with his life, he gave up everything he owned to get in a bus and travel around the country to just touch people. And he gave so much till he lost everything he had.
Sure did.
This dude went and sold his house, his business, everything. Started over again, got the money, and went right back out on the road trying to change people's lives. This is who you looking at right now. This Charlie Rocket right here.
That's my friend. That's my friend.
All right, so Charlie, I'm going to let you tell the story, man. What was your first impression of Richard when you met him?
Man, he has such good energy. And that's what always draws us, because when we tour across the country, wanting to make people's dreams come true, like we always wait for God to tell us who we're supposed to help. And it's usually an energy exchange. It's something that feels different. And it was just something magical about Richard. And when we walked out, and we handed him a couple $100, but we always asked one question: what's your dream? And when Richard started telling us about his dream, how he wants to have his art inspire people, and how he wants to be in a gallery, and we're like, okay, like this is a sign from God. This is who we're supposed to help. And like the way we like to do philanthropy isn't just like hand somebody a whole bunch of money. We do that if somebody needs a miracle. But I was like, what if we like really helped his dream and his art career flourish?
Charlie and his team took me to the art store, and I've only known them less than 24 hours. And I'm in there picking around. He said, Richard, get what you want. So, really? So I ended up buying like over $2,000 worth of art equipment. They took me back and dropped me off at my shelter, and I didn't hear from them for a couple of weeks later. I'm saying, who does that? But then when I called them again, you know, they kept giving me the surprises and surprises and surprises and surprises. And like I said, Mr. Harvey reached out, was the first one to reach out and bought a painting. And then Miss Winfrey, she bought one. And it just continued, you know, it just continued and continued. And Charlie and them could just continue. I just thought it was going to end in a few days. That was 3 or 4 months ago, Steve.
Now then, this dude right here, Charlie, this the real angel of the story right here.
Sure is.
He asked him his dream. He said he wanted to have an art show one day. Charlie organized an art show for him that went viral. Wow. So now, what was the reason behind this, Charlie, and were you shocked by the reaction?
Well, you know, like, I always just want to listen. Like, I don't ever want to assume. And when he said he wants to have his art just inspire people and be on the wall somewhere, God started working magic. And I just happened to know this lady who owns this art gallery, and she presented me with the idea before I even got to ask her. She was like, why don't we do an art show for Richard? I was like, I was going to ask you, but I didn't know if that was allowed to ask for. But when she presented that to us, like, my whole squad just went to work and in 7 days put it together. And Richard always tells this story about Andy Warhol. He talks about Andy Warhol a lot and how it was Studio 54 in New York. Andy Warhol would walk out and all these cameras would be flashing. And when Richard pulled up to this art show, he got out of the Sprinter van. And when we pulled up, there were hundreds of people chanting, Richard, Richard. And when he walked out, it was like slow motion, and the cameras were flashing, and it was just, it was a dream come true.
Yeah, man. But Steve, I couldn't have done this without God.
No, yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure.
It wasn't until I sit down, Steve, I gave my life to God. That's what changed my life.
Yeah.
I gave my life to God, and God brought Charlie to me.
Again, that was Richard Hutchins, an interview with Steve Harvey. You may view the entire story on Facebook's Steve on Watch. Homeless artist fulfills life-changing dream. Let's keep the conversation going by emailing me at katrina@katrinajohnson.online. That's katrina@katrinajohnson.online. So grateful that you joined me on this episode. Remember, information plus inspiration equals transformation. And until next time, stay inspired.